I would like more from Battlefield 2042 in 2022. Season 1 is meant to kick off early next year, and I've got to be honest, if it doesn't pop off straight from the beginning, I'm going to be a little disappointed. This game has been quite a rollercoaster ride of emotions so far. Some days I'm really enjoying it, others not so much. I've put in over 200 hours now, mainly on stream, and yeah, I enjoy the game. I still like it. I still want to play and stream it, but there is moments where it's just not really working for me, and I've tried to script this video and it's just not working. So this is straight from the heart of a Battlefield fan. It's not going to be a ranty long video. I just want to have a little chat with you guys, get your thoughts, get your input down in the comments below, and yeah, just see where we all stand on this game at the minute. You know, like I said, it's a bit of a roller coaster when it's all popping off, when you can flank, when you can get behind the enemies, when there's back and forth action on the maps, on the flags. The explosions are going off, the buildings are collapsing around you. Well, the few of them are. It's awesome. It's Battlefield, and I really enjoy it. But you know, when I've spawned in several times in a row and instantly died to a vehicle or a bolt, it's usually the bolt, or I'm running across the map, I get sniped, and there's nowhere to spawn, so I've got to go back to the deployment, start all again, and then I get hit by a heli. Or the team isn't pushing in because they can't really push to the objective because they're not designed very well and we can't actually take it. My enjoyment of the game, you know, soon diminishes, and it's a shame. There's so much good about this game, but there's so many things that are just not really working. And I don't want to go too much into all the things missing from this game or stuff like that. I've already said what I've said about this game, and right now I just want to discuss some things that I feel like could really improve the game in many ways. So I think the main topic of the game, the main issue of the game right now is probably flow. Flow when it comes to flanking. I've seen so many comments on so many other people's streams, including my own and my own videos and other videos, talking about flanking and how difficult it actually is in this game. And I'm gonna agree with you. I'm one of those Battlefield veterans. I don't really call myself that, but I guess you could consider me that, and this is probably one of the hardest Battlefields to flank in. Now, it's not about the kill streaks, but I do think this game needs more flanking opportunities. I mean, part of it, I guess you could say it is about the kill streaks, but it's more about the variety in the way that the game plays. Without Sundance and her wingsuit, without a bolt, a hovercraft, a tank, jumping out of a heli, it is incredibly difficult to flank in this game. Often you can get maybe 3, 4, 5 kills, and then that's it. You're just going to be either outnumbered, or someone is going to see you from some random angle that's very difficult to predict, or you show up on the minimap and it's just a question of when someone's just going to rush you or peek out and take you out. Flanking definitely needs to be improved upon, and I think part of that is the way the maps are designed. The maps in some places are incredibly open. There needs to be more cover, more places to conceal yourself. Some of the buildings they're actually designed quite well. There's lots of elements inside that allow you to cover and conceal yourself, flank a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be enough, and I'm not sure exactly what needs to change, but something needs to be changed. In my opinion, less open maps. Perhaps we should have a third objective on breakthrough in some areas. I think that would help to kind of break up the action. You know, DICE have doubled the player count on next gen and PC, but they haven't really considered how that affects the objectives. I don't think. Maybe they have, but from playing it, it doesn't seem to be enough. So my opinion would be to have a third objective in some places to kind of break up the action, and also maybe some more buildings. If you look at some of the concept art, you can actually see there's way more buildings in some areas, and well, that may kind of slow the action down in perhaps in Conquest, and in some areas in Breakthrough. In some ways, I do think it needs to be looked into, and maybe we could have more, you know, variety in the way the game plays. You know, I put some BF1 gameplay on screen, and you can kind of see what's going on here. The ways you could actually get behind the enemy and attack from the sides is pretty much different to BF 2042. Often in 2042, it feels like there's just this kind of big front line that's a bit, you don't really know where it is, and you've just gotta you just gotta hit it. You're gonna hit a wall of enemies at some point, and you just gotta deal with it. And while that can be fun in some places, in others it can be quite frustrating. So there is that. I definitely think overall there needs to be some changes to the maps to make infantry more fun. You can't go anywhere without people talking about vehicles being very annoying. At first it was the hovercrafts, they were getting right behind people. Very, very annoying at times, but now I think it's the bolts. The bolts and their guns are just... Are they too powerful? I would say so, yes. I think a transport vehicle should, at this point in the game, should just be a transport vehicle. I don't think it needs the guns on the top to be so powerful. Does it need guns on the top? That's a question for you to answer down in the comments below. Personally, I would take them off. I'd be happy if they were just nerfed a little bit further. You know, a vehicle like the Amtrak in previous Battlefield games could be quite powerful, but it was very restricted in some ways. You know, maybe that's the answer to the Bolt. You know, if it's going to be really fast and agile, you know, maybe its weapons need to be a little bit weaker. You know, about time. I don't really have much issue when it comes to some of the other vehicles. The tanks, I don't think they're much of a problem. In this game, they feel more, dare I say, like Bad Company 2, where you had to really think about your positioning. If you pushed up too much, you got in the wrong places, you'd be outnumbered very quickly. And maybe they need a bit of a buff in some places, but that's not really something I want to answer today. I'm sure there's some tankers down in the comments below that would have such better ideas than me on that. The Hellies, I think they're in a pretty good place right now. I don't find them too annoying. Perhaps there is too many on some of the maps. I was playing Renewal the other day, and I believe there was two Apaches, one Nightbirds, and a Condor, I believe it was. It was 3 or 4 Hellies, and it was just a bit ridiculous. But again, it comes down to the context. If the game had perhaps another objective, or the flow was a little different to the way the game is playing right now, I don't think too many Hellies would be such an issue. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's the way the game's flowing where things become an issue, and it's becoming quite annoying with the Hellies in their numbers from time to time. But the damage they do, I think it's kind of fine at the minute. I do think there needs to be some adjustments to the Rangers, the little robot dogs, and the turrets. Those things are killing flanks, they are killing pushes, they are killing just even objective play. If a turret sees you, that's an instant pretty much wall hack for the enemy team. If it dinks you straight away, as it often does, you're screwed. Same with the range dog. You know, I've been out trying to flank the enemy team, I've been on objective, I'm on low health, and that range dog instantly sees me, boom, I'm dead. You know, with the amount of players on these maps and how big they are, it's very difficult to know if there's going to be a range dog in places. Personally, you know, I think they need to be nerfed a little bit. I don't know if it's damage. Maybe they shouldn't have such a big window to see you in, but there does need to be some changes. You know, these are support weapons. They should not be primaries, and in some situations, and some, let me emphasize on some, they can be quite dominant. You know, a Boris on defense with that turret gun is insane. I will say there has been some awesome changes to this game so far. We have seen the ticket count increase, which has really helped us actually play Breakthrough. Before that, you pretty much, like, if you didn't take the objectives on the first go, that was it, the game was over. Yeah, very frustrating, so that's good to see. The hit reg is much better now, definitely enjoying gunfights a lot more, but I do have to say there is some issues with aim still, and that needs addressing. I just want my aim back from BF1 or BF5. You can, yeah, I'm sure you guys think my aim is pretty good on some of my videos. I've seen the comments, but my aim in this game is just not the same as BF1 or BF5, and right now there is a bug in the game on PC, so I've actually gone back to PS5. I've been playing with a controller since launch. I've done a couple of mouse gameplays here and there, but you know, you can see the icons on screen when I'm using a controller, and it's 99% of the time controller. And right now on PC there is an aim bug, and I've just had to give up on PC with a controller right now. I would love to play in gorgeous 1440p, but that's just not gonna happen right now. So I need my aim back in this game. Honestly, I'm just not as confident as I was in BF1 or BF5, and I think a lot of people are feeling the same, even on mouse. We got to talk about the way the maps have been designed. It's very clear they are more, dare I say, BF4 inspired. I wouldn't say BF1. Some places are definitely on some of the buildings. There's more flanks, more ways to hold, which I think is more BF1 than BF5. I would prefer some more layering to the maps. I think BF1 did it pretty well. Again, I've got some gameplay on screen. but you can kind of see how different it kind of plays. I'm not looking for trenches all the time, and I don't want the game to be BF1, but it would be nice to have more gameplay that's kind of, I don't know, variety is what I keep saying here. I feel like some of the maps, they often kind of play out quite similarly, and you know, that's okay in places. I got nothing wrong with that, but some of them are just, it's a little bit weak. I am happy with the changes with the objectives taken away from the roof. That allows us to actually try and win the match. But at the same time, I'm a little bit disappointed. I liked that DICE were bold and actually trying new things when it came to the objectives on the rooftops. But it's obvious they didn't test it enough, or maybe they did and there was going to be a patch in the future. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You know, we played Orbital in the beta with objectives on the rooftop, and that worked for Conquest. If we had known about the breakthrough rotation at that point and how that would play out, I'm sure many of us would have noticed straight away, yeah, this is going to be a problem. The objectives on the rooftop, there's only so many ways up. People are obviously going to camp up top there, vehicles are going to dominate up there, and it's going to be game over for the attacking team. We would have noticed that straight away, and you know, part of me is a little bit disappointed we didn't get to see breakthrough. Maybe the game would have been in a different state on launch. You know, if we saw that in the beta, we could have said, hey, this is not going to work, and then they could have changed it or potentially changed it for launch or straight after, and we'd be happy as Larry about that. But yeah, I do hope DICE, I think they should be bold with some of their choices, but definitely do some more testing. You know, if they weren't bold with new things, you know, for example, breakthrough, we saw it in BF1, that's the birth of it. You know, we wouldn't have it in BF5 or in 2042, and personally it's one of the best modes ever, and I think it's the future of the franchise in many ways. You know, so I do encourage them, I would encourage them to, yeah, definitely try new things and be bold about it, but we definitely need some new fixes, some new testing when it comes to that. But honestly, I'm not surprised there was issues with that. We've seen map design issues in Battlefield over and over again. BF3 and Metro, then we had Metro in BF4 again, and then we had a reimagined version in BF5, and they all have the same issues. You get stuck, you can't get behind the enemy team, well, more on 64 player servers anyway, and you often have very one-sided games. This has been an issue since BF3, and it seems to be a common theme ever since. And honestly, I'm not even surprised that it was going to be an issue on some map at some point. You know, with the rooftop objectives, it's the same kind of map design issues again and again. So you know, if you gave me the blueprints, just an image of how that map is, I would have seen that straight away in breakthrough and said, yep, this needs changing. Overall, I do think some of the maps need changing in places. It's very obvious they're a little bit more vehicle friendly, and dare I say, kind of more friendly to the team that kind of pushes together and not really individual players. I think that's one of the core issues for me of this game, is the individual experience isn't always that great. You often have to rely on your team to push up the map. And you know, I'm not against teamwork or anything like that. That's fun, that's great. But some maps, in some situations, it often feels like if your team isn't really pushing up, you don't have much of an input on the way the map plays. You know, with BF1, again, I feel like it was quite different in many ways. You could, for example, in the trenches, if you could take one of them, you could often, you know, give enough time for your team to push up and then take the other. If you did a bit of damage on one objective, you could fall back and flank around and wait for your team to come in that way. What I'm trying to say is there was lots of ways for the individual player to influence how the objectives and thus the map and the game would play out. And I feel like 2042 needs more of that. As much as Battlefield is a team-based game, you know, that's the core identity of it. We need, you know, more fun and more variety and experiences for the individual player. There needs to be more ways the individual players can actually have a input and effect on how the game's playing. You know, I think that's what makes Battlefield. You know, you get on a flank, you take out 20 players on it and you dominate it and your team can push up. You know, that's amazing. There's just stuff like that. We need, it's not just about the kill streaks, it's just about, you know, more variety, more stuff going on. Probably going off on a tangent there, but yeah, I think I said a few things. What have we talked about? The way the maps play out, the design. We need more cover, concealment, flanks and stuff. I think that's really the core issues for me with the game. Obviously, don't misquote me here or anything. There is lots of issues with this game. You know, balance issues, things that are missing, etc, etc, and I've discussed all of that in previous videos. What I'm trying to say here today is I feel like if you started to fix on the infantry issues, the way the maps are playing, vehicles and their dominance in some areas, not all, I feel like we would have a much better game. The new map that's coming out, whatever it may be, I do hope it's more friendly to infantry. I really do. I want to flank more. I want to go on more different kinds of streaks. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to see. I want breakthrough to carry on, and I hope they really try and improve upon the experience in the current game. I definitely think 2 or 3 objectives in some areas is the way to go. A single objective, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the play. I'd like to, you know, just see more variety in the game. It's 2042 and it's kicking off. Honestly, I love this game. I genuinely do. It feels like Battlefield. It really does. When the weaknesses start to show, lack of variety, lack of flanks in places, lack of infantry having a bit more fun than they are in some areas, it's disappointing. It really is. It really, really is. I'm going to leave it there today, guys. Just a quick little video. Hopefully I've said what I needed to say, and I apologize if it's been a little bit ranty or whatever. I just wanted to say something straight from the heart, not too scripted or anything like that, and just get some words out there. You know, I'm in the same boat as many of you. I want more from this game, and it's promising. They've done some great updates, and if they carry on, I think we've got a good game in the future. But there's some areas that need improving on soon. Otherwise, well, we'll see. Anyway, guys, 2042. Hopefully it's a good year next year. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Merry Christmas.